What's going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, it is that time of the year, and it is a doozy this month. We have the tier list, the regular old plain Jane tier list. If you're a new player coming to the game, welcome to OPTC. In today's video, we are going to take all the legends in the game, try and put them on a tier list for you across every aspect of the game. That includes PvP, Grand Party, Grand Voyage, Garbage challenges, forests, regular content, PKA, anywhere you can think you can take these units, 10-star Kazuna, Super Boss Kazuna, treasure map, everything's going to come into play, and we're going to try and put the characters on a tier list. Remember, this is my personal opinion, just playing the game. I don't have all these legends as well. I don't have stuff like Reiju and whatnot, but I've been playing this game for about 7 years now. Holy shit, about 7 years now. So take my word for it. Let me know in the comment section if you guys disagree with anything, because I love to have a discussion about this kind of stuff. I always like to rank these characters on stuff like speed, power, versatility, classes, colors, and how valuable they are in multitude of aspects of the game. We'll talk about the tiers and see if there's any changes before we dive in. But if you enjoyed the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll try and keep it short and sweet. And once we're done with all this Super SUGO shenaniganry for the Gear 5 celebration, that's when I'll do my endgame tier list. So this is more directed at start, mid, and endgame players alike. But enjoy the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you come back to the channel, just do it for me. Helps me out a great deal. And I think 45% of you guys aren't subs, so I would appreciate that. Let's dive in. Alright, here we go. Tier list time. The top 5 as of last month was Nami, Sanji, Luffy, Yamato, Whitebeard Roger, and then Uta. This is one Uta. I know there's top 6, but it's one Uta. Top music is different to these two in my opinion, and I think these Utas are better. But Uta has top 5 sort of capabilities because she has the versatility of being all 3. Provided you were around when you get the skulls. Next, we got God tier. These guys are just so close to being like the best units in the game. They might shine in particular areas and aspects of the game, and they can do things that no one else can. Stuff like Zoro and his incredible super tandem, as well as his conditional. Striker with their final tap, the damage reduction buff that Yamato gives. Sabo for their versatility in Grand Voyage. You guys get the point, right? Blackbeard is phenomenal with despair removal. Honestly, this Blackbeard's so good. Roger is amazing. Yamato Ace are incredible. K-Dad, insane in PvP, treasure map, wave clearing stuff. Like I said, these are all characters to hear for a reason. Now, I am going to change some stuff. I am actually going to bring down 2 particular characters. I'm actually going to bring down Luffy and Yamato. I think they've had their time in the sun. Yamato actually can probably stay up here because she's so good in Rumble, but this Luffy, definitely going to bring him down. He's definitely fallen out. He's still a meta unit. Honestly, he's probably more of an S tier captain. I'm going to bring him all the way down here. And as for that, I think the God tier it's pretty fine. I'm pretty happy with the God tier. As for meta, these characters are all very, very good alongside other units in these higher tiers. Some characters that I am going to change around, though. I am going to bring Sabo down to S tier sub. I don't think Sabo is where he needs to be anymore, mainly because of Rush Sanji on the quick team. Doesn't mean he's bad. Just means that he's dropped out. Next, we got Shanks. I'm going to bring Shanks down to S tier captain. Again, Zoro and the Monster Trio has really pushed this unit out of being the captain slot. Law is probably one you could argue with because he does different stuff to what those other units are trying to do. Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo is going to come down as well to S tier captain. And I'm going to bring Izo down to A tier captain. I think Izo is basically just a budget version of Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo. I cannot put them on the same tier. I definitely think so. Corazon and Law, I'm going to keep... Oh, excuse me. Corazon and Law I'm definitely going to keep there. As for the rest of these characters, I like most of them except for Basil Hawkins. You're going to come down to A tier. And I'm going to bring Killer down to S tier sub. I'm definitely going to bring him down to S tier sub. Mainly because we have rare recruit killers that do similar stuff to this unit. And for that reason, I have to bring him down. As for the rest of these characters in meta, I'm pretty happy with all of them here. Black Marine ulti, I'm still going to leave here. I'm not sold on them. I haven't really done too much with them yet. But they do seem still very, very good. Odin and Toki are probably a character that might move out. Dogstorm's incredible alongside Cat Viper. Law can still do some stuff that no one else can. And the rest of these characters seem pretty high, pretty good where they are. Next, we're going to come down to this particular tier of the S tier captains. These are all very good captain options. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I don't think there needs to be much changes for the rest of this tier list now. S tier level limit breaks. This here is if you have 10 copies. S tier subs, I'm pretty happy with everyone in S tier sub. I can get around this. Probably Kinemon Dendro can come down to A tier. They can probably come down to A tier captain nowadays. And who else have we got here? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with everyone else. Look, I'd be inclined to push Toki up if I'm honest. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with everyone here. As an S tier level Limerick, I don't know. I haven't used the Reverie girls, so I apologize if you think that they're better than where they are. I think they're probably still best used as a sub. As an S tier level Limit Break, like I said, level Limit Break, if you guys don't know what that is a system where if you have 10 copies of the unit, you can get them to level Limit Break 5, and it upgrades their captain ability, their rumble abilities, and their special. These are the best of the best when it comes to that. I still think Shanks Crew probably has the most valuable level Limit Break. His rumble kit makes him so good, and in regular content that isn't like your big damage teams and whatnot, this unit is so friggin' powerful. Luffy and Ace, honestly, isn't that far behind. I said it when Luffy and Ace got their 6+, their value was going to make them shine the most, and it shows dividends if you guys are missing stuff like Gear 5 and whatnot as well, but we're going to talk about that when we get there. As for PvP focus, these characters are your PvP-centric units. You're pretty much using them in PvP and nowhere else, with the exception of maybe something like Odin, maybe, and Dofi, maybe at level Limit Break 5, like maybe some Akainu shenaniganry, and then Treasure Map for maybe Izo Kiku, but besides that, all these characters are only used in Rumble, really. As for AT captains, this is where we sort of start getting down to the lower end of the spectrum. These particular characters aren't bad, they can still clear a lot of content, it's just that they're not, like, exceptional. As for Carrot and Nami, I'm going to bring them up into S tier sub. Their damage potential is actually insane. Like, it's actually ridiculous what you can do with this character. I do like Robin Koala, but I'm not super sold on them. I will give them a little bit more time to simmer. Ace, you guys know how I feel about Ace. I think he's trash. Well, he's not trash, but, like, he's not an S tier. And then we move down to A tier subs. We have A tier level Limit Break. And as you can see down the list, it just starts to get a little bit more grim for particular characters. As we get more 6+, like Jumanji, they got their 6+ for the month. Here they are right here. They're going to sort of fall at the back end here because those characters don't need it. These characters here, don't stress if you see, so like verse like these characters, they're all there because they've already got 6+ and whatnot. But as you can see, we have a bunch of characters to talk about. We have the new 6+ of Sanji Judge. We have Reiju, the Kazuna Legend. We have Momo, the regular legend that came alongside the Big Boy Gear 5. And then we have the two new Super Sugos in Law and Kid. And Olin, the audience. So we're going to start it off with Jumanji, Judge, and Sanji. Honestly, these guys aren't incredible, but they aren't bad. I don't think they're the best level Limit Break and 6+ that we've had. They do boost fighters now, and they're a 3-turn orb boost. The downside to them is they added the attack boost into their super swap. So if you're not getting the super swap charges, you're pretty much never going to see that. Other than that, they literally didn't change anything about their super swap. They're a powerhouse-centric captain, but they also need one of every color to get all of the stuff that they can do. And it's very finicky and very annoying to use. They were built alongside a batch built for them, and that is just not a fun time for a mid to early game player. So I'm going to put them in A tier level Limit Break. Honestly, at the back end as well, like, not a fan of what they did with this character. I don't dislike the unit, but that's talking from an endgame, a very late endgame player's perspective. So it is what it is with poor old Jumanji. As for Reiju, the Kazuna Legend, honestly, I think Reiju's ass, man. Like, I am not a fan of this character. She's not bad. She's not bad by all means. She's just not good. She can poison or give the pink poison with her super type. And then she can remove poison with her special. She's a 3-turn color affinity booster and a conditional against pink poison. Very much similar to her other legend. Like, unless you're getting poison content, this character's not really going to be that useful. Full immunity completely cucks her. The poison doesn't go through full immunity, so that kind of sucks. But she does remove paralysis, and she does remove threshold, which is kind of nice. But for a Kazuna legend, she's incredibly lackluster. She needs a Sanji on the team. You kind of need that Germa Kid unit to swap into the captain to get the full effectiveness out of her. Or you need to use something like Rush Sanji for a captain swap. And those characters are quite exclusive, being Kazuna, like, rare recruits and a Super Sugo. So, like, she's not bad. She's not great, honestly. That's the Kazuna stuff. Pretty quick. Pretty easy. Now we get on to the big boys. The big boys and girl, I should say. First, we have the regular legend Momonosuke. And this character I am going to proclaim right now, alongside Alba, is the best regular legend in the entire game. This character is so good. Like, I'm going to stick him up in God tier. He is so freaking good. Like, he's so disgustingly good that he speed farms content. And if you are a new game player, this is the character you want to pull. This particular unit right here, Momo, I know it's crazy. He is V1 Kaido and Marco in one unit. These two characters here, basically in one unit, but he also boosts Free Spirit. And if you take a look at the top tier, you've got Free Spirit, you got Free Spirit, you got Free Spirit, and then you got these guys. But he launches his special at the start of the quest. He gives you an attack boost. You can carry that attack boost with Wano Orbs. He's so freaking good. Like, he's so good. He doesn't make my top 5. In my opinion, I like him more than Alba. But the two of these units are just disgusting when it comes to, like, the best regular legends in the game. Talking other regular legends in the game, like this Blackbeard versus Whitebeard unit is insane. And Cat Viper is really, really good too. But, yeah, Momo is crazy. The end of turn damage will carry most players. You get cooldowns. You boost slashes as well, so you can use Whitebeard and Roger. Like, you can do so much with Momo, and I've been having so much fun. As a endgame player too, I've been seeing his value in PKA. To farm the mini-bosses. You get like 177,000 EXP, 200,000 if you level up your host ship. So that's kind of crazy. So very, very powerful character, very, very good unit. Alongside him came what everyone wanted to be the best unit in the game. That is Gear 5th Monkey D. Luffy. And when I first read this character's kit, I was a little bit underwhelmed. I'm not going to lie. But as time went on and I got to use the character more and more and more, I really, really like this unit. So much so that I'm actually going to put him third. I think he's the third best character in the game. And with that, I'm not actually going to take out Uta. I'm actually going to drop Whitebeard and Roger. Whitebeard and Roger, they've seen their time in the sun. Their swap ability is very good for new players. But like nowadays with power creep, you don't even really need it, if I'm completely honest. Which is kind of crazy. But there's just the units that do so much damage don't need that extra damage every turn. It'll still help you. It's still very, very good. And they are still the best PvP character in the game. And that's why I had them so high. But Uta's versatility across literally 3 units cannot be understated. But if this was a PvP endgame tier list, I would have Roger Whitebeard higher than Uta. As for Gear 5, though, that's what we're here for. Gear 5, he is a Psi Free Spirit booster. If your characters are of both Psi and Free Spirit, he is going to give you a 3.25 orb boost and a 3 times color affinity when you are in Gear 5. When you activate his Super EX, you can just go into Gear 5, making Free Spirit, Super Free Spirit, and Psi characters Super Psi. He's the first Super EX, and he has the best final tap in the game, and he doesn't even have bloody final tap. His rush ability has shown that it can do disgusting numbers. I think we've seen upwards of around 700 billion damage with this particular unit alone, which is kind of nuts, and he still has a 6+ on the way, which is just crazy to think about. Actually crazy. The downside to this character, and the reason I would probably, well, most people probably wouldn't have him in top 5, is as a sailor, you get literally 0 value out of the unit. He's a color affinity booster that gives you a full border orbs through block orbs, and that is literally it. But as a captain, he removes special reverse, he removes bind, his Super EX allows you to go through defensive effects like barriers, damage reduction, threshold, and damage null, all of that. And on top of that, he has a revive mechanic. His revive mechanic is very different to Brook's in the sense that it doesn't actually revive and wipe away buffs, otherwise that would be insanely broken. But he does revive if you take stuff like death hits, and then you can go into your Gear 5 form. The downside to him is you can't use the EX as a sailor, so you cannot be in Gear 5 at all as a sailor, which sucks, because then you lose access to the orb boost. And if you use the Super EX, you lose the revive. So it's a bit of a downside there. He does have holes and he does have flaws, but even with these flaws, he's shown how good he is. If those flaws were fixed, he would be number 1, and it wouldn't even be a discussion. This, for me as well, this release of Gear 5 makes Nami the best legend in the game once again. I was tossing and turning, doing stuff like this for a while, but now Nami, in my opinion, is outright the best unit in the game. However, what Nami and Gear 5 are doing for the side team is very different to what Sanji's doing for the Strength, Dex, and Quick team. And for like that reason, if some people said Sanji's the best legend in the game, I would definitely hear. Zoro is up here as well, like here, I would definitely hear you. Zoro's just, he's so hard to use if you're not using like these characters altogether. Another downside to Gear 5 is his cooldowns. He's on a 15-turn cooldown as a captain. He doesn't give any, which is a huge, huge problem for speed farming. But if you're a mid to early game player, that does not matter at all. Your goal is not to speed through content. It's about clearing content. And his clear rates are insane. I've no-stored both forests with him. He goes so hard, and he's such a phenomenal character. For that reason, he's third. And I haven't even seen what he's done in Super Boss yet. In Treasure Map 2, he's going to be great for just like binking bosses like what Roger can do. And the combinations you have here, like you have Paralysis removal, Bind, Special Reverse. You have Despair removal, Bind, and Special Reverse. He's so good. Like, he's actually so good. Very, very good character. On top of that, he also makes Psi and Recovery Orbs matching, but also makes them a 3x multiplier, which is higher than Wano slots. Just, it's absurd to think about. Another downside to the unit too is you have to be in Gear 5 to get his rush mechanic. And getting the rush can be very challenging because you need 3 Straw Hats on the crew as well. Or Momo and Yamato, that they also count. Law and Kid are there too. But that rush ability will only be activated if you're Gear 5, which means you have to have him as captain. So there's that as well. Not a perfect unit, but a very, very good one nonetheless. And I'm very keen to see what his 6+ is going to bring. After Gear 5 came the next part of the Super Sugos, and we got a Law Kid and a Olin the Orion. Now, I'm going to start with Law Kid, because Law Kid seems to be designed as Gear 5's best friend, and I can definitely see it. However, I just don't love this unit. Like, I actually don't love the unit. I'm going to put them in meta, because the reason that they're so good is because of these 2 characters right here. I don't think they're as good as the characters in God Tier, just playing through the game. Now, I haven't seen them everywhere, and I do think in Super Boss, they are going to be an incredibly valuable asset, just like Robin. However, everywhere else, like, they're just so annoying to use. You need 8 turns to get their super swap, and as a captain, they're a dual unit, so they obviously falter there. But you can get more super swap charges with stuff like the Bash that came alongside them of the Beppo and the Killer, or by using a side character special when you are Law, or an in-character special when you are Kid. So you can do it, and it's definitely not something that is super challenging, but it's just when they're put in a position where it makes it hard for themselves, it's very, very hard. When they're put in a position where it's easy for themselves, it's very, very easy. Now, obviously, using characters that work amazing for particular bits of content is where characters shine the most, but what makes a character amazing is just allowing that character to be amazing across the board. And, like, Kid Law, they do have their holes, but if you partner them up with Gear 5, you have an attack boost of 3.25 to Psi, you have your Orb boost, and you have your color affinity with Gear 5. Law and Kid are both free spirits as well, so they work alongside Gear 5, which is huge. Kid being a free spirit is nuts. They set defense to 0 no matter what, but then they also have a very unique mechanic where they turn the super type into a 3x buff instead of a 2.5. They also allow damage dealing effects to go through normal attacks only, which is very, very good for wave clearing, and I do think that this character, provided they get their super swap charges, are going to be very, very good in stuff like Treasure Map. I think Treasure Map is going to be a place where this character shines. You can get your specials done through normal attacks only. It means that very annoying mini-boss stages are just going to get absolutely clapped with this particular character. But the downside to that is characters like Roger, that you're already doing that with, and Luffy, go through normal attacks only anyway. So, again, there are holes with this particular character. They're not perfect, and I think they are just they were made to go alongside the Gear 5 Nami meta for the side big damage team that we'll probably see for the next Super Boss. Do I think they're bad? Definitely not. Are they a fun unit? Yes, they definitely are. Do they bring a very interesting mechanic? They do. However, they're a dual unit, and the biggest draw to a dual unit is their swap. And their super swap is complete arse, man. It's actually so disappointing. Their normal swap completely removes special one of themselves and gives you a 1.2 times chain multiplicative. Very similar to Judge and Sanji. However, if you get their super swap, you get a 1.4 times chain multiplicative boost. You still remove special bind, exactly like Sanji and Judge, and then you just become Kid Law, and that's literally it. Like, what? This is 2023. Why aren't you giving them a crazy super swap? Like, why not? What's holding them back? Once they are in their Kid Law special form, they do have a buff special, just like Luffy Yamato. It's not that much different. Like, Luffy Yamato is going through full immunity with 2 times damage, but you do kind of want to be in that dual form to get all the shenanigans that they are providing, being the 3.25 times attack boost. All in all, they're a great unit, and they're going to see a lot of staples on the int and the Psy team for big damage. Plus, they have Super EX as well, being a dual super type. So they can be a Super Psy or a Super Int. And their Super EX does more damage. It gives them a Tandem Orb. And they increase that chain multiplicative to 1.65, which is the highest in the game. Don't get me wrong, it's very strong. Or if you use it maybe under Alba, you can turn Albas into a 1.75, which is like, it's going to actually be nuts. But, again, it's pretty much all they provide the team. But it's going to be very interesting to see what we can build for that Driven team now with the release of this unit and Olin. They're also Super Tandem. They give a 2.75 to Free Spirit and Driven characters and make Psy, Int, and Tandem Balls matching for those characters. It's not the best Super Tandem in the game, but it's still very strong. However, I definitely would not chase this. Something like Zoro's, something like Nami's shines because they multiply together. Nami's especially, she gives you the 2.25, and then that times by 1.25 times 1.25 is a much bigger buff than Zoro's 2.5 times 1.25, and then this is just 2.75. In theory, if you add them all together, they're exactly the same. However, you're not adding them together, you're multiplying them. So, very, very good Super Tandem. A big downside I did find with their Super Tandem is they want you to use a Luffy. You need to have a Beppo, Killer, or Luffy to activate the Super Tandem, I believe. And if you don't, you're not going to get it. However, if you are tapping with Luffy last for the rush, it'll prioritize the rush before the Super Tandem. So you have to bring 2 Luffys, you have to bring Beppo or Killer for this to actually work. So to see that, it's going to be very interesting, and I just don't think that Super Tandem is going to work the way they intended it to because of this reason. But, as I was talking about, Driven teams have got quite a big buff with Kid Law, on top of Free Spirit as well. Driven Free Spirit combination is nuts. But with this Big Mom, we are now cooking with gas. And the reason we're cooking with gas is because this Big Mom is actually crazy. She's actually so good. I have been doing a showcase with her just before recording this video, actually. She's an absolute menace. And rightfully so. Like, giving Big Mom a Super SUGO had to happen. She's very, very good. And she can just do something that only one other unit in the game can do. At the moment, I think she's God tier because the way she sort of cruises through content and the access of characters that she has. But with her special, she only really brings one particular aspect, and that is the double conditional, just like Robin. However, Robin goes on Cerebral and Free Spirit teams, where Olin is for Driven and Powerhouse teams. And if you look at Driven Powerhouse, you have a pretty good array of characters like 1, 2, now 3, 4, and wherever Jack is down here, which is 5. So now you can stack Olin's conditional with Queen's conditional. However, you have to use these 2 units after using the big dog Kaido. So it's going to be very interesting to see because you'll lose out on Alba's or Alba's chain shenanigans. You'll still get his chain boost because it can't be blown away. But you will miss out on the tap timing that Alba can provide as well as the base stats. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. But we'll have to wait and see what the damage numbers look like. For now, though, because I have Robin here, I am going to move Big Mom down. The reason I think Big Mom's much better than Robin, though, and I kind of still want to put her up here in God tier. I kind of have to. Like, I think she's better than Yamato. The reason I would have her up in God tier, actually, this combination is going to go nuts. Now, oh, wow. I just looked at this. Holy shit. This is the combination that's going to go absolutely nuts. Because you can now combine this Kaido with this Big Mom and get some crazy powerhouse shenanigans in. Big Mom's also a dual super type. Sorry, super class. So you're getting Driven and Powerhouse buffs. So with this Kaido, you could then get double super class as well. Oh my god, you could do so much damage with these 2 together. Holy crap. Big Mom, yeah, this combination is going to go crazy. Big Mom's a captain too, is a 6 times captain. Or she can be up to a 6 times captain, I should say. Plus, every time you kill something, she uses them to heal. She generates Semler slots as well, being Dex and Quick, turning into Semler. She keeps Tandem Orbs. She has a Super EX, as I mentioned, that gives you color affinity as well. Actually, that's a big buff. Robin can give you an Orb buff as well, though. So, I do think that she's a bit better than... Yeah, she's definitely better than Robin. I think she's better than Robin. But Robin goes on Free Spirit. So, very, very powerful character. And as of the end of the month, I do think the tier list looks a little bit like this. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Do you agree with what I've been saying? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. While you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. I'll leave a link to the tier list in the comment section below if you guys want to check it out, build your own tier list. Make sure to tag me wherever you guys post that as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.